Hey guys, Omerko here, self-taught web developer. Couple weeks ago I uploaded a video called Front-End Web Development. In that video you could learn what front-end web development is, skills that you should acquire for front-end, tools that are used, types of jobs, salary and usual timeline of front-end web developer. Through this video we will talk about same topics but for back-end web development. As backend is known as a server-side development, it holds a lot of our app logic that we will have, and it also handles authentication, authorization, and much more. Let's jump into this presentation. So, what is web development? I already talked about this in my front-end web development video, but I will also mention it now. Web development is a set of different skills, technologies and tools which allows us to create websites, apps, softwares, etc. It usually combines front-end development and back-end development. As this is the video for back-end web development, we will focus on that. So let's first see the difference between front-end and back-end. So front-end, as I talked about it, is something created on a client side, so our client or user could interact with. It involves usually with designs, images, objects, well, basically everything that our user sees. Regarding backend, backend is server side. So server side means that our clients or users won't have direct interaction with it. We will use backend to usually manipulate data, so to work with the database, so database interactions. Also, we could use those to manage our authentications, authorizations, and also payment processing. So what is back-end web development? Back-end, as I already mentioned, is also known as a server side of development. It is not visible to a client or a user. It is used to create servers, connect to those, communicate with database, run a logic of the application, handle authentication, authorization, handle our data and manipulate data. As our world grows larger, so technology grows larger with it. That introduces us to great new technologies that are used for backend side development. Those would be like a Node.js or a Next.js. Multiple great frameworks like Laravel for PHP or Express.js for Node.js. Let's now see some of those backend skills. If you follow a path of front-end web development, essentially you will have similar skills as other front-end web developers. But for backend, that is a bit different. Backend offers us a variety of different languages and frameworks for it. Let's mention a couple of those. So first of all, Node.js. Node.js is kinda still new into the web development. It is a JavaScript runtime environment. So basically we will create the JavaScript files and we will build those files through Chrome V8 engine. Well, Node will do that automatically for us. It is also asynchronous and event-driven tool that is made to build scalable network applications. Frameworks that we could use with Node would be Express.js, Meteor.js or etc. So Python, as you could see, is an open source high-level programming language. It is used in general purposes, so that means basically that we could use it well for everything. We could create APIs for our apps, connect those apps through servers or work with the databases, create desktop softwares, desktop applications, even it is present in our games. Frameworks that goes with it are called Django, Flask and much more, as Python is with us for years. PHP is a scripting language and it is also used on a server side, so for our backend. It is usually used to create web apps to render dynamic content. So by that it is well suited for web development. Also well-known WordPress is run through PHP fully. Frameworks for PHP would be Laravel, Symfony, and obviously there is more. Java is a general purpose programming language as Python is. Java and JavaScript are not the same languages. Java is much larger and complex language. It is class-based and object-oriented. It is also well organized and easy to understand. Frameworks that goes with it would be Spring, Selenium, or obviously there are other ones. C# As Java and Python are general, C# is also. So we could see it everywhere, from our web apps through softwares to games. It was made in 2000 and it is highly used to this day. Frameworks for that would be ASP.NET MVC or ASP.NET Core. There are much more, but these two are mostly used. Tools for backend. As a backend developer, you will have to learn a set of tools that will allow you to manage your app, handle data, test, store data, etc. Let's mention some. So APIs. Working with third-party APIs is crucial for backend, as almost every app have type of logging with familiar social media like Facebook or Twitter, so it is good to learn to work with those APIs. Also, payment processing is something done through a backend side, so usually there will be API for that also. Text editors. This is a must-have, obviously. Text editors allows us to write the code, and it is the place where we spend most of our time. Some of those would be Visual Studio Code, Atom, Sublime Text, etc. JSON is a language indeed, but it is also used for data formatting. We use JSON to show and read our data, which is easily handled by front and backside. Version control system or systems. Here you have one that I showed, it's called Git. But systems like Git are very crucial for development. It allows us to control different versions of our code and separate it by branches, which is immediately accessible to us. Tool like this is really crucial for working in teams. Database is usually a place where we store our data, pull those to render and manipulate. Some of those databases you could see right now on the screen could be MongoDB, MySQL, MariaDB, etc. Cloud hostings is a place where we usually host our apps. All of those have a variety of different add-ons and plugins that we could also use for our apps. Mostly used hostings to host our apps would be AWS or Amazon Web Services and Heroku. So, how to get a job? I also talked about this in my front-end video, and this is pretty similar. The only difference is set of skills, but trying to find a job is going to be the same way. So there is obviously two paths. You could work as a freelance or in the office. As a freelance, if you choose path of a freelance, as I did, I would advise you to create first good portfolio with couple of projects that are good, so you could show your potential clients that you really know what you're doing. Get some courses, run some tests, code daily so you could be ready when the right client hits. Also join websites for freelancers. Don't try just by dry technique to get clients. Join websites like Upwork or Freelancer. There you could find maybe potential clients. Office job. For the office job, most of the companies have skill sets that they require. Go through those skill sets, see if you're the right for a backend position in that company and apply. It is that simple. Mostly you would have some kind of interview test, so they could see if you are good verbally and also you know your skills in definition. Then you would get some kind of coding test. There they would see if you really know your skills. If you succeed, you would get a job or at least practice where you could earn, learn more and build your career to another level. Let's now talk about salaries. So as you could see, I have three different segments here for the salary. In my front-end video, I showed those based on demographics. Now I will show those by range. So low range salary is about 34k. Usually this type of salary is given to junior freelancers or developers that are working in some kind of startup. Usually startups don't have large budget or they are not financed from some other source. So that's why usually developers that are working there gets a bit lower payment. It's still nice, but a bit lower than these two ranges that I will talk now. For the mid-range salary, it goes around 72k and it usually goes through startups. Freelancers, as you could see, will have a hard time earning this type of money over the course of 1 year, as they will probably need to be high senior to earn this kind of money, as currently market is large and it is growing even larger. So there is always developer with similar knowledge for less money, but it is also doable. So for the high range here, That type of money goes about 98k. This salary is obviously not strange for bigger companies like Microsoft, Amazon, etc., as those are willing to pay even more for a good senior developers. You can hear from time to time that there are even senior developers that are getting like more than 150k a year. Well, yes, that is also possible in those large companies. To be a freelancer and to earn this kind of money, you would usually have to work more. What does that mean? Well, basically you would need to have maybe 2 or more clients, or you would probably need to have another person or a team of people that are working for you, or you could create your own side project like the app, mobile app, that could earn you money. So by that you could even earn more than 98k a year. This is also great as those developers build their career bigger for themselves. Also, this doesn't have to be static, this format that I showed you. So one of big scales here is where we get our job. Where do we live, how big, good and rich company is, and also skill sets and experience in those skills. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you like it. If you do, please click like and subscribe as I'm posting new content weekly. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon so you could get notified about my latest content. Thank you and see you in the next video.